Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for joining me today. First, just want to say that I am sorry this took so long to get up. It has been a crazy few months. But here I am jumping right in. This is the first time I've actually ever shown most of the die cutting that I'm going to do for the 3 cards. I believe I made 3. Now it's been a little while, so but I think I made 3 or 4 with this really cute Concord and Ninth set that I just loved it. So anyway, I did a couple different variations. I really just followed the packaging as far as what my layout was going to be, as well as a really great video from Jennfer McGuire. She is just so inventive. I actually used the pop-up functionality of her card when she did use this set, and I just loved it. Made one of these for my teachers, or my daughter's teacher, for the end of the school year. So, anyway, so I just kind of wanted to show you how I go about doing my die cutting. I don't think it's any different than anybody else's. I try to maximize the space I have and do as much at one time as I can because, as you all know, if you are card makers and die cutters, you know how much time this can take, and it does take quite a bit of time. So I also went with a little bit of a monochromatic theme. So I did variations of yellow, and then I did variations of aqua in the ones in the cards that I made. So a lot of little pieces, but I just tried to utilize as much real estate on my cutting mat as I can. I have the Spellbinders Platinum. I have the bigger one. So that's a really big mat. That is actually a magic mat from scrapbook.com. I really like the magic mat. I use it as my bottom plate. And I really like it. Now I have bought quite a few of them, but you really can heat those up and get them to go back flat. You can kind of clean them off. They do work really well. I hear or saw on their site that they're going to make a magnetic one at some point, and I'm pretty excited about that because I'd really like a magnetic mat. So anyway, this is just, trying to get as much in there. There was a lot of little pieces, and I cut a lot of extras too, and by doing that, if I have extras, I just put them in a little, it's a jewelry bag actually, that you get in like the jewelry section, those little plastic bags, and I put it inside my pocket with my dies and my stamps. So next time I go to make something, I might have some pieces already cut. So another thing that I use here is that blue tape. Mint tape is what it's called. It's also from scrapbook.com. I love that stuff. All right, now we're down here at the mat. You can see that I've got everything die cut. I wanted to show these little bins, plastic trays. There's 2 different sizes. Those also come from scrapbook.com. I love them. There's other companies that make them too. Spellbinders has some that actually have a lid. Anyway, they're great. Those are the stamp. That was the stamp set. I didn't show a very good picture. It's a stamp and die set from Concord and Ninth, and it's just so cute with this little, it looks like a Stanley, but it's not a water bottle. And there's little ones and small ones, or big ones. So here I'm just gonna begin gluing my little water bottles together. So this is my glue press, and looks like I didn't get it on the cradle very well, so I'm having to use the the cap that has a pin in it so that it kind of cleans out the little nozzle. This glue press is great, actually. I really do like it. Although I am finding that I feel like it needs to be really full to work because I'm currently using it and I'm having a hard time squeezing it out. So I need to fill it up, but totally fine. So I decided that I wanted a little dimension and thickness because I am using 65-pound paper from Michaels. I have not graduated to the good stuff yet. One of these days I will and just start buying the better paper. But for now, I am using Michaels, and that's okay. That was just a little sneak peek of a different card that I was doing, and how I utilize those trays. It's great because everything can just go in there, and I can set those to the back when I decided I was doing something. I needed to do something different. So yeah. So sorry I'm off screen. I will also say that I don't know what went on with my camera on this one. Yeah, I'll have to see if I can get it figured out for next time. So, I don't know. Anyway, so here we're just going to do a lot of gluing. Continuing to use the glue press. I really do like the glue press a lot, actually. It's better on my hands, I think. So, I wanted to keep all of this in because it's a little bit more showing the assembly line process, right? So, going back to the beginning of the video, I had the die cutting. So if I'm making multiple cards that are similar, I really want to put in I want to get all my die cutting done at the same time. I'm going to try to get the majority of my gluing and putting together done at the same time. So then we get to the fun part, right? Which is, arranging and getting everything on the card. So I did double up all of my die cuts. So this die is really neat because, and it's a stamp set too, but there's two different fronts to it, which you'll get to see here in a little bit, and which give it a little bit of dimension. So not only did I utilize Jennfer McGuire's technique where it lifts off the card and kind of sits on the counter. It's really neat. It also has dimension to the actual die cut. It's really cool. And I loved that. I really like that. So I utilize my tweezers a lot. I use it when I'm picking up my die cuts. It helps me to align things. I use my reverse tweezers, but not a ton. So here is where I was showing how I stamped them. These were the stamps that came as an add-on to the set, and I used two different colors there that you could see from Simon Says Stamp. And this is the front that I was talking about. It has a little lip to it that's where you can just create like a pocket, kind of, right? It's scored. So you create a pocket, and then you'll see here in a few minutes what we do is I actually put foam tape in there. So it gives it a little bit of lift, and it just sits on top of it. It's very cute. And then you continue to decorate it. But I thought that was cute. Now, you don't have to do it this way. They have two different dies. They have a flat one and then this one that has more of a dimension to it, which is really neat. And so the tops, the little, the detailing, detail pieces that come, there's two different ones of those too, because it depends on what one you're doing. So sorry for my head there. And then, as I'm doing things, another tip, I guess, is all the paper that I've used, I keep it all together. So, and there's me checking my phone. I try to cut all that stuff out, but I'm really bad about that. So I keep all the paper together so that if I need to go back and cut something else, I don't have to go hunting for the paper I used, or if I need another little piece, I've got all my scraps right there. I just recently started using little project bags for all my projects. And then that way, even if I'm doing a video and I have to come back to it months later, like this one, I can still go check, on it and see, or I can go check, excuse me. I can go look in my project bag for that paper. Once I'm done with this video, I'll put everything back. But it works out pretty well. I get these really nice mesh bags from Amazon, I think. So that was me putting the foam tape. You do not actually have to take the sticky off of the foam tape because it really isn't gonna stick. You're gonna use the tabs on those scored pieces on the side. That's what's actually going to stick to your car or the top of your water bottle. So you can if you want to, but I don't really know if it matters. And that was something that Jennfer McGuire shared in her video. So mine is, it is similar to hers for sure. I used my own background in that, but as far as, I really used what was on the back of the packaging, and I used her technique for how the water bottle stood up on the card. I just loved it. So now we're going to start putting our water bottle together. So cute. And I love the monochromatic. I think that's really pretty. So I used glue. I think I might have said I was going to use glue tape, but I used glue here. And because it has that foam tape in there, you really got to kind of hold it so that it sticks. You know, give it a second. Normally I'd put like a brick or something on here, but it's a little harder because, well, I did, but I really used my fingers to go ahead and get that, on to adhere, excuse me, and then put the brick on there to kind of finish it up. So I apologize if some of this stuff is off camera. I don't know. It's just, I'm not really sure what happened with why my camera looks that way. There's always something, I seems like. I'm still learning. So just a little bit on this stamping. I didn't talk about this. So I did stamp those cute sentiments in a kind of corresponding shade because I was going with the monochromatic. And then I used clear embossing powder over it. I love that. I like using clear embossing powder over a color. I just recently did it with a really pretty woodsy brown from Simon Says Stamp on a Christmas card. And I just really like the way that looks. You know, so I get that different color ink. I don't have to have 5 million kinds of embossing powder. And it just kind of stands up and gives it a little bit of shine, which I think is fun. So anyway, so I just wanted to mention that because I don't think I did before. So now we're just gluing the other side of my little water bottle. And you know, you can kind of see I wish my tape was more together inside, but you know, lessons learned. These were the first ones I made. Actually, the first one, no, I all did all of them with the dimension. I didn't do them all standing up though, you know, with the standing up like you'll see here in a little bit. But anyway, they do let you can see it, you know, how it gives it a little bit of additional dimension. I think it's really cute. So just finishing gluing those up. You know, this is my glass mat. I've talked about it in other videos. My glass mat is nothing special. I got mine at Hobby Lobby. It's not magnetic. I don't know that I would use the magnetic. So I have this one and I have another one at the other end of my table that my daughter uses. Sometimes we craft together. Sometimes we do videos together. Or she just sits there and does other things while I'm crafting. So now we're going to go ahead and start decorating the water bottles. So there's some tops. See how I was fixing that, because I cut the wrong top. There are pieces that go with the dimensional water bottle or the one that pops up, and then there's ones that go with flat. The dies actually, I think the dies actually say on them flat and something else. I'll grab those and I'll find out what they say, but which is really nice, you know. So I think it's a great thing. So I just verified, they say flat or curved, so that's the better word. So I use the curved. So obviously if it's curved, it needs to be a little bit bigger. So I use some silver cardstock, also from Michaels. All my cardstock is from Michaels, so nothing special here. I use some silver for that little piece there that I just put on, and then now I'm adding the handle to it. Look at how cute that is. Oh my gosh, it's adorable. My little water cup. Very, very cute, very fun. So working through, just double checking all of my pieces. I probably should have just got rid of the ones that were too small. I don't know, but I didn't, because I kept them and I have them in this little baggie that I was talking about earlier. I have a million little flowers, a million, because I cut a lot extra. It even makes straw toppers. I mean, it is adorable. It's very, very, very cute. It's a fun set. Okay. And now here we're going to start dressing the yellow one. I like the little silver on there. I think it's really cute. I think you could do other things like pattern paper might be really pretty. I think that would be cute. I'm actually going to be working on a tumbler, an actual epoxy tumbler, and I am doing a Stanley. It'll be my first Stanley, and I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited. But she wants strawberries on it. And so it's a beautiful lilac color, and I'm going to do strawberry, you know, design in vinyl, and then I'm going to put epoxy over it so it seals. But made me think, wouldn't these be so cute in, you know, with a pattern kind of like that is, you know, because you can find all sorts of things. So again, you know, just, I think I said this multiple times, I tend to follow a idea right out of the box and try to get a feel for the set, or the whatever it is that I'm doing. And then in my next go around, I tend to, you know, go outside of the box, I guess. I don't know, you know, and go my own way. It's just kind of how I work. I like to see how it works. And as I'm doing it, I will often come up with, ooh, I could do this, or ooh, I could do that. And so that's kind of where all of, where additional ideas come from as I'm getting, you know, getting those creative juices flowing, if you will. All right. Well, and here we're just making sure everything is staying, I guess yeah. I do, again, really do like the monochromatic look. I think it looks nice. I think that's kind of fun with this. So, and I went that way with the whole card, as you'll see, as we continue to move into getting these all dressed up on the card. So yeah, there we go. All of this is totally up there off camera. I don't know. I will get better. I promise. I will continue to get better at this video stuff. I don't know how to stretch it. I'm not really sure what I did. It's super strange because none of my other videos look like this, but this one does. So I'm not really sure what happened. I'm using the same camera that I always use, the same software, and it makes no sense to me. But you know, lessons learned. I'll see what happens the next time I do a video. I'm having some storage problems, so I need to get this one out the door before I can even begin to think about recording something else. You can see, you know, down in there, I guess if you were going to look down the top, you would see that, but I think that's the case anytime you use foam tape. So a lot of times I like to stack paper, and that's my preference. But this wasn't something that I could really do that with, that I could figure out anyway. But that's okay. So yeah, there we go. Just making sure everything is nice and glued. There we go. We can kind of see them better. Perfect. Look at how cute they are. Oh my gosh. So now we're going to do some maybe decorating, I think. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Oh, these are the straws. So this is adorable. It has straw toppers. Like, how cute is that? So my daughter has a whole bunch of straw toppers for her Stanley. So I thought, she was actually the one I bought this for, because I thought, oh, I got to make this card for her. And the straw toppers are adorable. I just think they're so cute, and a really fun add to this. And they're obviously a big deal for some of our, you know, younger folks that carry around these 40-ounce, you know, water bottles. I have no idea how they do that, but they do. I guess that's why there's a handle. So anyway, yeah. And so I did the flower, I believe, for the teal ones, and then, oh no, maybe I did a flower for both. Yeah. Oh no, but I did a star too. So it just was whatever I cut out, but I did a star too. And there were stars and flowers. I think there's a heart. There are a few, oh, actually they're right here so I can look. There is a star. I guess there's only a star and a flower. I liked. So yeah, but just really cute stuff. So I love it. Oops. Losing my dies as we're talking about them here. So, all right, getting those done. There were other things too. And then I don't know if I mentioned, but it also has a small little Stanley, which is cute, like a little baby one that you could do multiples across a card, which would be really fun. So there's just a lot of different things. I like this kind of, Concord and Ninth does a lot of fun things. I recently bought one that was looked like friendship bracelets, and oh, that was it was fun to put together. It was really easy to not make them straight. So, but it was really cute. It was such a cute little one. So I need to send that to a couple of friends of mine because, you know, that's the thing that I grew up making was friendship bracelets, you know. So anyway, so now we're getting our straws with our straw toppers attached to our water bottles here, tumblers. Yep, those turned out really cute. Making sure they're straight. I don't know how many times I put something together and it's not straight. It really happens quite a bit. I just recently did a card where that occurred as well. And I'm like, oh, those little shutters aren't on straight. But, you know, I'm a human and they are a handmade card. And that's, you know, that's the reality. So, all right. Perfect. Look at how, yeah, those are very, 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 very cute. So perfect. Moving right along. All right, cleaning up my work surface. Glue gets everywhere, but it does just really wipe up, which is great. So yeah, so now we're gonna start looking at putting together the background of what I want my water bottle to be on. You'll see a plate there. So that's from, plate, excuse me. It's a embossing folder. That is from Spellbinders, and it is a cloud. And it is clouds, excuse me, not a cloud, but it's multiple clouds. SES028. I don't know. I'm sure it has a name, but it's really cute. It's got a bunch of clouds all over it. So I am not going to put it all over the whole panel of the back, but I am going to put over part of it. So I am using my Tim Holtz trimmer here to see how I'm going to, this is exactly what it's going to look like. It'll have a white card base. It's going to have the dark teal, the lighter teal, and then the lighter one, smaller piece is going to be the embossed piece with the cloud. So it'll be real cute. And those trimmers I have two of them. I have one smaller than that. I use both all the time. I do have to have a bigger trimmer. I really wish I had a bigger guillotine, but I don't. Okay, so there is my embossing folder. So I don't know if I showed this, or I'm not sure if I did. Okay, so see how cute that is. Yep, so we've got that on there. Just kind of giving you an idea of what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to do the rest. So here we've got the yellow. Yep. All right, and we're going to trim down so that I can, again, I just wanted to make sure it was going to work. So I didn't plan everything ahead of time. I had an idea. I did a sketch. I didn't show you the sketch. But you know, I wanted to see if it was going to work, and it did. It was really cute. I like the cloud. I think the clouds look really adorable on here. And I have, you know, I don't necessarily like a embossed paper all the way across the whole card front. I feel like the edge sits up. I don't know. In some cases I do, but in some cases I don't. So anyway, this was definitely a way for me to not do that. So I measure, you know, I put a little spritz on the back, or I may not have. It's nice to do that because it helps get you a better impression with your embossing folder, actually. So that is what works for me. And so here's me just going and jumping off camera to go ahead and get those ran through the Spellbinders. And I just follow, I think I said that already, follow the sandwich that's on my platform. And it looks like I ran away to do all of those, but that's okay. You can kind of just, I'll come back. I didn't record that particular portion, but that's okay. So we do try to keep these down. This is still going to be a pretty long video, so I really do appreciate you sitting here and hanging out with me while we do this. Yep, so there we go. Coming back. Oh, now I'm going to go do the last one. goodness. Yeah. So anyway, the spritz of water does work really, it does work really nice. So I think it gives it a really nice impression. Now there's different kinds of embossing folders. You have a 2D or regular, I guess, and then you have a 3D embossing folder. This particular one, I believe, is just a regular embossing folder from Spellbinders. It is also just the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. A lot of their 3D embossing folders are bigger, which is really nice, so that you can do a 5 by 7 card if you wanted to, or you can then cut, just the piece out of it that you want, which I think is great. So, all right, here I am coming back and just trying to keep my workspace organized as I'm working on different parts of my project. So I always just keep one little piece of white paper, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, to just kind of see what it's going to look like on that size card front. So that is not my, it's not my card base. So now I'm going to do a little splatter. This is really fun. Now we're going to do, my splat box is really messy, isn't it? But doesn't really matter. So this is I've got all 4 pieces of my embossed paper, and we're going to use some splatter. Okay, I didn't show it, evidently, but I did use, I don't know what happened there. Well, that's crazy. But here's I'm using Spellbinders Splatter is what that is called. And I will go ahead and just, I'm not really sure what happened here in my video. Cleaning up my mess. I got it everywhere. So I just use a paintbrush, fan brush, and I put some of that splatter in, and then I just tap it onto my my paper. So you'll see what that looks like here in a minute. So I guess I should have just cut that out, but I didn't. But wanted to show you that that's kind of how I do it. Now I'm doing my card base, top folding card base, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm using 110-pound cardstock from Michaels, and my little scoring tool, my scoring board. So I do use a different bone folder to get that crease nice and clean. So they're both from EK Tools, but one's bigger than that gray one's bigger. So it's just easier on my hands. So I did make 4 cards, as you can see, 4 card fronts. You know that from the 4 little water bottles that I made. And so now it looks like we're going to start putting things together. Now, something about this paper is once I score it, it's not always even. It's the paper's off. So I tend to have to do a little trimming on the bottom just to make it even. It's just really weird. Is it me? Maybe. Is it the paper? Maybe. Who knows? Doesn't really matter. So I just get them all cleaned up and making sure everything looks good. All right. And now I'm going to start putting things together. I do want to see, what it's going to look like as I put it together. Yeah. So there's that. Now, what I look at the paper is when you cut paper on a trimmer, it will have a lip to it, and I don't want that part up. And you'd have to see it to know what I'm talking about. I don't know that I could show it on camera, but I like to make sure that lip is face down. So I'm using my glue press to get these pieces all glued down on my top folding card base here. And can't see it off camera, but there I go. Just using the glue press. There's my head in the way, making sure everything's straight and even. Typically, I'm usually a little off if I'm just eyeballing it, but that's okay. They're handmade, right? They're handmade. Just like my videos are handmade and they're not very good, but we're getting better. I'm getting better. This one, there's a few pieces that are off, and I don't know what happened with the splatter, but what are you going to do? So now I'm making another trim here because that paper was a little longer. We want everything evened up. So I'm using my Tim Holtz trimmer. I do I do love that trimmer. It works so well. All right. Okay. I like to just lay everything out, and I continually, you know, put it together, you know, so just to make sure that I'm staying on top of what I'm doing, I guess. So, all right, so there's that. Now we've got to bring in our embossed pieces. Okay, so there it's the not great lighting. There is splatter on there. I did white splatter on all of them, and it just gives it a little extra. Not a lot, just a little, you know. You could have used, I mean, it might have even been fun to use a monochromatic. That might have been fun. But it brings out the white in the straw because I did use a white straw in the white card base. So we'll get those glued on. Something to think about when you're gluing your embossed paper on there. Just make sure you have it on the non-embossed part, you know, because the raised part, it's not going to really stick. Depending, especially if we're talking about a 3D folder, you know, because those have, you know, there's a lot, they're 3D, right? So the glue off of me there, and I'm using my brick to kind of hold things down because they are embossed, so we want to make sure it adheres to the paper really well. All right, yep, that glue press does work really nice. I would say that was a really good purchase. I'm glad that I bought it. So if it's something you're interested in, I think it's good. But you know, and I used the glue that came with it for the first time just because it came with it. I'm going to probably refill it with my Barely Arts. However, that Nuvo, I think it's called. It's really good glue. So it'd almost be easy to just refill those bottles or to buy another bottle of that, but I'm going to be a good girl and refill it and try to do it that way. But the glue works really well. It adheres really well. I've not had any problems with it. It sticks well. So yeah, you can see that those, I'm going to have to do some trimming on these as well. So when we're all glued and ready to go. So just get them all going. I open them up so that they don't, you know, so they're flat as I'm gluing. And I don't want anything to be off and uneven. So, yeah. Definitely turned out cute. I like the way that looks as far as the strip goes. So, you know, just gives it a little border, like a double border almost. So I think that looks really cute that way. So again, I like the monochromatic look. So, all right, so those turned out really cute. Admiring my work. Now I'm just waiting patiently, bringing in my trimmer, because I did say I would have to do a little more trimming on the bottom, right? Uh-oh, that one, I got something else. So here's me. Look, I cut myself. So blood. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. That's from it was a Disney, but anyway. Yeah, so I had to make another card. I was really bummed out because I couldn't, everything was glued and adhered, and that's just the way it goes. So, oh well, cut myself somehow. All right. So there it is. Getting that one redone since I ruined it with my blood. Giving it some pressure there to make sure the glue adheres. Trimming off the bottom, little extra piece. That's the thing about this guillotine, is you can just really get a small piece. Now, here is the Jennfer McGuire technique. This is really awesome. You take a piece of paper, and I do have the dimensions, and I will also do make sure I link her video, but I did it's 1 inch by 4 inch, and I scored it at a 1/2 inch, 1.5 inch, 2.5, and 3.5, and then I fold it. And you fold it so it looks like a box, basically. It's a box on your card. And that was Jaden wanting to clay. I just threw that thing in the garbage today, actually. And it looks like a little box, see? I don't know what he's doing. He's not being very helpful, but you know, you gotta let. So anyway, the little box, and those are my dimensions. And then you fold it back and then you glue it to the flap to the bottom of the card. And then we're going to adhere it. And then that, look at that. Look at how cute it is. And so it just sits. There you go. Just like that. See? So it'll fold up flat in your card and then it just sits on your desk. And it kind of gives, it has some 3D to it. So I did that with all 4 cards. So now it's time to dress things up. I didn't want to do this before I had that, you know, that 3D portion. So I cut out all the little flowers. I'd already done that before, but then I took the stamps, because the stamps, they had little middles, little stamps to stamp the middles. I can say that. And I used black. So I kind of wanted some contrast. And so I just took a standalone stamp block to do those. You know, it didn't, because it didn't make sense to pull the Misty out. That was kind of a, that was a lot. So I didn't really want to do that. So I just went, and now did they all work? No, because those stamp blocks that I have are kind of weird, but they're still really cute. So I just went through and I stamped everything. There are flowers, and then there is some greenery, you know, little leaves that go with them. And that's what we'll do on our card to kind of just dress it up a little bit and add some little pieces. Now, do you have to do that? No. That's a really nice thing. This set, you know, it has a lot of different things to it that you can do. It's got, even the flowers, it's actually got some stamped flowers, so you could just stamp the flowers instead of die cutting the flowers. You could do quite a bit of different things. Very cute. And it has some adorable little sayings. I didn't really show you the stamp set very well, but it does, you know, there's some smaller sayings in here too. I love you more than my emotional support water bottle. You deserve all the good things. Have an extraordinary day, like extraordinary. Just really cute stuff. Yeah, just, you know, fun little sayings. So there's a lot of different ways to dress it up, and I really liked the flowers that was on one of the examples on the back of the packaging, and that was very similar to what Jennfer McGuire did. Again, thank you so much for your inspiration, because I just love it so much. So, and here's the little greenery. So I went ahead to go ahead and start putting the flowers together, and then I could put, you know, I used some foam dots, you'll see, for dimension too. So yeah, this is a little, you know, small stuff is always a little tedious, but it was still really fun to put together. I really did. I like them. I like the little stamps in the middle. I think it's fun, even though I didn't do it perfectly. I think it looks really cute. You could also, you know, you could put some gems in the middle, some enamel dots in the middle. You could layer your flowers. There's just different things that you could do, depending on what you're looking for. So, you know, it's really just like with any stamp and die set, you know, you put your own creativity to it and do what, you know, whatever strikes your fancy, I guess. So, I think the flowers are cute, and I use color in my flowers. So I try to use a little bit of the same, you know, like teal or the yellow, but then I threw in some pink and some other colors, and I used the yellow on the teal card just to add that little bit of color, since most of the rest of it was very monochromatic. So, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So here we go, continuing to build my little flowers and with their greenery, and not all of them needed it. As we put it together, you'll see that. So, and this glue bottle has a really fine tip to it, which is really nice. On here, I'm using my Gina piercing tool. It has the wax end on one side and a pokey end on the other side. So it's perfect for, and so here, see how I pulled out the enamel dots because I was like, ooh, I'm going to use them. Now I did on the flower ones, I used them for I used it for the straw topper. I did not use them for additional embellishment well, maybe I did on a couple. It just depended. I also used some flat backed glass beads, which turned out really pretty as well. All right, so I did use, oh yeah, so I put a little enamel dot. I don't know, maybe I didn't. Oh yeah, see, I put the little yellow one on the yellow flower, and then I did have a greenish aqua teal, whatever, for the teal one. So, yeah, it did cute. I did use enamel dots for some. These were these really pretty glitter ones. I got them at, oh, I think the scrapbook convention last year. I'm kind of sad I don't get to go to it this year because of the timing. I kind of messed that all up, but that is okay. I spend enough online. I don't need to go to the scrapbook convention. Anyway, so now I'm going to start putting my little flowers on here. You'll notice I have all my cards put together. So I was just trying to see what it was going to look like because I did use some foam dots to pop up some of that. And then obviously I want those to still come off of my card. So they can't be glued to the card. They can only be glued or adhered to the actual, water cup on the front. So just trying to figure out how many I wanted and what that looks like. I didn't want to cover up my words or anything like that. So, and then which ones I wanted, flat versus popped up. So just, doing a little bit of that. So for foam dots, I have a variety of different ones. I have ones from the dollar store. I've got some new ones that I got from scrapbook.com. They've got some, and they're like different thicknesses, which I really like. So they're 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, and 3 millimeter. And I really liked that. So that you could get varying thicknesses. So, as far as foam tape goes, I just have one thickness and I have no idea what it is. I got mine on Amazon. I have both black and white. And I think it's 3M, I'm pretty sure. So, and when I run out, I'm going to try some different brands. There are different lofts of that. So these are my dollar store dots. So I have a million of them because I bought a lot over time. So I just try to use those too. And I'm pretty, I'll use the pieces that aren't round too. I'll cut some of that other part off because it's all sticky. So depending on what I'm doing, I'll do that often too. So I try to use every little scrap that I can for the most part. And that's the nice thing about card making. Everything is so small. You really can. Like, you can use every scrap. It seems, it's interesting that I feel like I have to buy new paper, because you would think it would never run out, but sometimes you do. I have a couple of specific colors of green that are my favorite to use, and I can only find them in a multi-pack. So I end up having a million of the other greens. So, that's probably one of the reasons why it'd be nice to change to a different and better paper. Something a little smoother too for ink blending as far as the cardstock on the bottom. But I haven't done it yet. So one of these days I'll do that. So anyway, so see how cute that looks. So, you got a couple that are just adhered directly on, and then you've got another, that's popped up with a little, with a foam dot, which is great. So yeah. There you go. I'm just trying to tuck things in so it looks, like a little bouquet on there. Yeah, so it's very cute and something fun. They sit up really nicely on the desk, and it's just a little dimension. It's not a lot, it's just a little, and I think it's really fun. So gives you something to sit on your desk and enjoy. So send it to a friend, or something. And okay, so showing how that kind of stands up. Trying to decide if it needs just a little something else. I did go ahead and use enamel dots on this one. I used a variation of enamel dots and then some glass backed beads. I have, I think, clear ones on some, and then I also have a teal colored one. So something to think about when you're mailing. If you are mailing something that has a lot of dimension or those beads on it, it is not going to go through the mail very well. So you'll want to think about giving, you know, putting it in some kind of a more protected mailer, and it's going to cost more. So just something to think about when you are making your own cards, or if you're buying somebody else's and they don't share that with you, or maybe if you've ever bought mine and you're you know, wondering about it. Just something to really think about, because those cost a little bit more and they don't run through the machine, especially those really thick glass beads that I have. So look at how cute that stands up. I love that. So that's really fun. And those enamel beads, those enamel dots are pretty flat. It's the glass beads that are a little thicker. So yeah, very, very cute. So now we're going to look at the more turquoise one. I used a light, very light turquoise for the inside of the straw topper there, which is really cute. And now we're going to put these flowers together. And same thing as we did on the yellow one, just putting some little greenery on those so that they look really cute. Now I know that I don't need greenery on every leaf, on every flower, because I did use one that didn't have that. So I'm just able to, you know, move a little faster now. So yeah, see, look, very cute. And so that little pop of color on that monochromatic, I think that looks nice. And that's kind of how I did that. Just brightened it up a little bit. So, which is good. So it needed a little something there. So, yeah, so we're going to start with just gluing it down. We'll glue the first two, and then we, on that third one, we use a little foam dot, excuse me, that I, from the my little dollar store dots. Yeah, that's cute. So I mentioned earlier about pattern paper. I think pattern paper would be really cute. So that would be kind of fun to try one out with that. I might have to do that. So yeah. Go. And now we'll do the top. You could just leave it like that, you know, at the bottom too, now that I look at that. But you know, the examples that I was going off of and following Jennifer's video and kind of how she put it together, because I thought that was really cute, was kind of both, you know, in each corner. And then if you look at how I placed the extra embellishments, I kind of followed a diagonal line there, which I think looks nice. So just somewhere for the eye to kind of follow too, which I don't know. I'm not sure if that's a design thing, but I really like the way it looks, and that's what I did. That's kind of how I work. I just do what I think looks pretty. So here are those glass beads that I was talking about. I thought the colors would be really pretty, and they do. They look really nice, but they're really thick. I got these. It does say, so I'll put it in the comments. I got them at Craft Warehouse. I mean, you can obviously get them and order them. But I happen to be visiting Oregon and I bought them at Craft Warehouse, but they're pretty thick. They're definitely not going to go through the mail well. So I will have to either send this card a little differently, or put it, you know, or give it to it's somebody that I would hand deliver a card to. But see how you kind of have that little diagonal? I think that looks nice. So, that's kind of what I was going for. So a little glue. Now the thing about the glue behind the kind of clear glass piece, it looks white at first, but then it dries clear. So you can, it just, you know, see right through it basically. But they're nice and adhered to the card, and they don't, you know, they don't have any, I've not had any problem with anything coming off. And I've had these made for a while. So yeah. Yeah, they're really cute. So I think it's fun. There we go. Putting the rest of this back. Those are just some triangle trays. You can get those off. I got like a huge package off Amazon for my birthday, or for Christmas, excuse me. So yeah, so see how cute that is. I think those turned out really good. You can see how they stand up. It doesn't stand up well on the glass because they spread out, but it does when you're on just a regular surface. They sit up really nicely. Okay, so this is a different yellow one. See how I used enamel dots there? I wanted to show how I used the clear glass beads. Now these are a little thinner than those teal looking ones that I did on the last one, but they're still thick. It would be, you know, you just got to be careful and think about that when you're going to mail it. But I do really like, I mean, they look like little water droplets, and that's what I really liked. So I do have a hard time with the placement of these. I love using these. I think it's really cute. I think it adds a little something to it. But I always feel like it looks weird. But I don't know. We get there, and that's, yeah. So I think that looks nice though. I just feel like it's too uniform and not, you know, not, I don't know, just, it just, I don't know what to say. It's just too uniform. That's what I feel like. But then when I look at it later, it looks fine. Okay, so last thing here, I decided I really wanted to dress up the envelopes. And I don't do this on all cards. I need to remember to do it because I think it's really cute. So I took the envelopes and right on the part, you know, where you're gonna seal it, I decided to put a stamp there because it's just a little something else. So this one I put H2 Hello, I think is what the stamp says, H2 Hello, which is super cute. I did it in just black VersaFine Clair ink in Nocturne, I think is that one, the really deep, rich black. And I just thought that was adorable. So that way, when you're mailing it, they can just, when they're getting ready to open it, they see that there's a little hello there on the flap of their card, which is really cute. And it's just ink, so you don't have to feel bad about them throwing that envelope away because it's just a little bit of ink. And ink lasts a really long time, and there's re-inkers for that, right? That's our new saying. There's a re-inker for that. This is the large Misty that I have here. I have two different sizes. I have a small one and a large one. Best tool ever made. I don't think that I would have probably got back into stamping without something like this because I am not a good stamper and I tend to miss. And it happens all the time. Oh, so that one I had to do at the bottom because this particular envelope had a place where you're gonna, it's not a, you have to lick it, and that would have, it would have made that part run, or, you know, it would have got wet. You didn't want it to get wet with your saliva or anything else. So I put it at the bottom of the envelope and they could still see it. The other one had a strip of, it was like a glue that you just rip the tape off of. It's almost like a tape. So look at how cute. That's the end of that. And here, here are my two cards. I really appreciate you watching me put these together. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see you again soon in one of my upcoming videos. Thank you. Have a great day. Happy crafting.